this episode of The Tripod.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I suppose one thing about
for portfolio images, like, it's not just the forever image 2020. Like that's in my top 10. Like that photograph, like in a portfolio. Do you know what I mean? And you're probably the same, Ronan. You're probably the same, Kev.
Welcome to The Tripod.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 34, the final episode of 2020 for The Tripod. It's been Christmas. It's been the best time of year. It's been the loveliest time of year. And we haven't really spoken. So we're going to have a bit of a catch up today about our Christmases, your Christmases, Kevin's Christmas, Sean's Christmas, Kevin's Christmas again, then Sean's Christmas, a little bit of my Christmas, probably with some interruptions from Kevin about his Christmas, a little bit more about Sean's Christmas, then I might get to finish the point about my Christmas, and then we'll go back to Kevin's Christmas again. So we'll start with you, Sean. How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was low.
I start? No, I'm only joking.
Actually, I just thought of something there, Ron, and you said the last episode of 2020, but technically, oh no, never mind, I'm slow. It's going to release tomorrow. Oops. Okay, I was like, next Tuesday it'll be in 2021. Oh yeah, never mind. I don't know. Has that happened to anyone else? Like, I don't know what day it is.
Oh yeah,
completely
big time, yeah.
Disregard what day it is.
Liam Murphy commented on my photo today and he was like, "Oh, that's lovely to see on a Monday morning." I was like, "Oh, it's Monday, is it?" I had no notion.
Oh God. My Christmas was lovely. I have totally just switched off and disconnected and just done nothing, and it's been fantastic. And it's just been so nice to do nothing, like, and especially that you kind of, because we have nowhere to go, you don't feel bad. Like, you don't feel bad at Christmas time anyway, but now you really don't feel bad because, like, we don't have anywhere to go. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I ate and drank and chilled out. So yeah, but I miss talking to you guys as well. So I'm looking forward to this. Miss
yeah,
your
it
faces.
feels like it's been forever. I missed the last episode as well. So for me, it's been like an extra long time without the goodness that is the tripod.
See, it's been so long you can't even say the name of the podcast.
Substitution, RHD out, KH in.
We forgot to mention I'm the youngest host of the podcast.
Sean, are you the youngest host?
Yeah, I am.
Did not know that.
Ask me again.
My Christmas was really good. You know that? Normally for me, Christmas is lots of driving around places. I'm the only driver, so like it's normally just like driving here, driving there, and normally I only get to kind of relax with my apple juice or orange juice or whatever we call it on the podcast at around 10:30 in the evening. So I made up for it and had loads of orange juice all throughout the day. So
lovely.
It was great. It was the first time in probably 5 or 6 years that I've been able to, you know, actually just chill out and not do anything. And it was fantastic. You know, Ava was out on her bike. It was just, it was, you know, it was probably one of my favourite Christmases to date. Just don't tell my ma, she'd be very upset. But it was lovely. It was well needed. And as Sean said, it was just nice to not have any obligations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
To eat, drink and enjoy the merriment that is a Crimbo binge.
Proper Crimbo. Now, how was yours, Roro?
Mine was different but special. So obviously with what's going on out in the world there, my wife is a healthcare worker and she couldn't be with us on Christmas for various reasons. But we did everything right in such a way that it was safe for the girls to go and see their grandparents. So we all did Christmas dinner together. The girls got about 50 million presents because nobody could see them. So everybody was kind of showering them with gifts. And we started, like, they got up at about 6 a.m. Christmas Day, and I was like, right, coffee straight away. Did the whole Santa Claus, and we did all that bit, coffee into me, and we finished opening presents at 12:30. So it was hours of entertainment for them. It was great. But yeah, I got to relax and chill out, and I didn't have to cook the dinner this year. So
nice.
I just watched a few Crimbo movies, and yeah.
What did you watch?
Good crack. That new Soul movie on Disney Plus.
I've heard fantastic things about it.
Yeah, Pixar have been smashing it with their recent their recent things.
I don't want to
featuring Mark O'Brien and everything in the previous one as well.
Oh, is that the movie? Is it? Is that the film?
Yeah, it's the one
Enchanted, I think, is it?
Wow. Onward. Is it Onward? Outward?
Onward, yeah. That's sorry.
Onward,
I thought it was Enchanted. Onward, yeah. Mark O'Brien himself.
Mark O'Brien.
It's actually the skull off Mark, like.
Oh,
absolute
it's
skull.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even now, anytime he puts up a story, all I think is your man. Like, that's all I can picture.
Absolute
I put it up on my story and I tagged Mark and he just replied and he was like, you know what? That literally is the spits me, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not even mad.
I've never seen anything like that before. Like, it's so like him.
Oh God, yeah, brilliant. Christmas is a great time of year. Given, especially the year we've had, everyone was ready for Christmas. Everyone was just ready for a break and just ready to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
And like a break, that's actually a break and not like an enforced one. You know what I mean? That like a lot of people had throughout the year. Yeah, it's a break that's kind of like it's deserved. You've earned this break no matter what's happened throughout the year.
Exactly.
And yeah, like it's been lovely.
And the weather's been shocking, so you haven't even felt bad about not getting out with the camera at all.
Exactly. So, it's freezing. It's raining. Like, just stay in.
The last time I was out with the camera was with you, Ronan, actually 2 weeks ago. When it was actually the first day that restrictions were lifted. We could travel outside our county, so I went to Wicklow and had a fantastic day shooting. So we did.
Yeah, I enjoyed the walk most out that day because it was like, oh my God, I'm outside my house. Oh my God, I'm like not within 5 kilometers of my house. It was just really nice.
You were sound enough as well, this is great.
Thanks, yeah. Thanks. Yeah. The company was nice as well. Thanks, Ron. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Well, look, that's our Christmases. We can't really have all of our listeners on to talk about their Christmases. So we asked everyone on Instagram if they got anything nice from Santa Claus. And loads of people were nice enough to respond. So we'll go through some of the Christmas gifts that our listeners were lucky enough to get this Christmas. And we'll start with Mark Kerwin, who got a lovely Fuji 50-140 f2.8.
Ooh. Jeez, he must have been a very good boy all year.
Very, very good boy. Because that is a nice piece of glass.
What's the Fuji? A crop sensor?
Yeah.
So that's a 75 to 200-ish.
200, yeah. 70 to 200, basically.
So
it's a 70 to 200 f2.8. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Jesus.
Lovely.
He must have done all the dishes.
That's a brilliant lens. That's a really nice Fuji lens. Yeah. Well wear, Mark.
Yeah, Mark is going to get some lovely stuff with that. Kevin, we have a present here you might be a fan of. Classic Angles. Got a Mavic Mini 2.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
I hope he flies it well. I hope he's safe.
Are they just as small, are they?
It's same size. It's I'm not sure of exactly the difference, but I know it's like kind of higher quality video.
Has it got OcuSync?
I don't know, man.
That's when you can plug the phone into the controller. Like you're not relying on the Wi-Fi connection, so it's a stronger signal when you're flying the drone away from yourself.
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
I'll tell you right now.
But by all accounts, it looks lovely, and that's nice. He's gonna enjoy that. I'm sure he probably already is enjoying it. And DJI, if you're listening, give us a shout.
Oh, Kevin.
It has got OcuSync 2.0, so wow, that's a big feature in a drone with a small price tag. So yeah, well wear.
Yeah, we'll be looking out for those aerial shots now. Coming up next, Luke Kenny Photography got K&F graduated filter kit. So that's kind of a first step into the world of 100mm filters, I think, the K&F ones.
Yeah, so, I don't know
graduated filters. I don't know much about K&F, to be honest, but they're good for learning, especially trying to get to evaluate your scene, because when you're making the decision to use a graduated filter, you have to be aware of the dynamic range in the scene. So it's kind of like it'll help you to progress from shooting a single raw file to bracketing, and then knowing the difference between when you need to bracket and use graduated filter. Yeah. So that's a good little gift. Very nice. Jack O004 got a voucher for Cons cameras.
Go on, Jacko.
And
Woo.
cons, I do believe, are still open at the moment. I think Garrett said they were remaining open. As
all safety, public safety guidelines and all that will be adhered to. But yeah, I believe they are still open.
Brilliant.
Yeah, they do collections outside the shop and stuff like that as well. So you'll get good use out of your voucher there, even with the current restrictions that are in.
Jesus, great, lads. I got nothing photography related for Christmas. I'm just going to say that right now. Go on.
Something that actually would please TJ. I got some actual proper walking shoes because I got a bit of stick from the Wicklow calendar day out around and because I was wearing white trainers, as TJ called them.
Oh my God.
Out shooting. I was like, but I didn't know what was in store. I didn't know what the crack was. But yeah, so happy to know I know, yeah. I have some proper walking shoes now, some hiking shoes. So
nice.
There you go.
So you got stick from people other than me, because I remember giving you an awful lot of stick that day.
Yeah, I got quite a bit of stick. So
good stuff. Will for Kev.
Look, I mean, I'm on a podcast with Ronan Harden Downs.
Yeah.
I'd want to be thick-skinned.
Excuse me. On the subject of TJ Allen got onto us and he got the F4 road trip, a Wacom tablet, Peak Design clips to clip his camera onto his bag.
Snap.
So yeah, as he says, I was spoiled. And TJ, now you've always been spoiled, to be fair, mate. But
yeah. Jesus, TJ, that's
you were treated there.
Whatever about the F4 road trip, I take that or leave it. But I mean, a Wacom tablet, unbelievable. I use it all the time. And a Peak Design clip, another unbelievable piece of kit that you can have. So you have to now buy, TJ, the orange 3-legged thing, L bracket, the Ellie, because that has the same kind of Arca Swiss plate that you can clip into the Peak Design capture clip. So, and it's orange and looks cool.
There you go.
It costs like €70, but look, it's orange.
I mean, if that's not reason enough to buy it,
yeah, it's
you
just
should
cool.
go ahead.
It just looks cool. Yeah. You saw it the day when you were out shooting we were on. Looks slick.
It's lovely.
Yeah, it looks slick.
Matched your eyes,
Sean. Can we not talk about that day anymore?
My eyes are blue. My eyes are blue, Ronan.
Yeah, blue and orange are complementary colours.
Are they?
Teal and orange?
Oh, God, Sean, there's so much you don't know about this world. You're always stuck in teacher mode. There's more to this life than woodwork, Sean.
Sometimes you need to stop teaching and start learning.
Oh, I like that.
Thanks, bud.
Okay, brilliant. God, those were nice presents, TJ. You were well spoiled.
I'm going to just rattle off a couple of more here because there's so many. But a topic we want to cover in the future actually is photography books. And Philstagram got Mark Duffy's book. Finland 1976 got Peter Koch's book. Right. I can see a few. Thomas Heaton's book there. Got a couple more. Then
I have
a couple
Peter's
of people.
book on Skelligs. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice books actually out of Irish photographers as well, which we will hopefully get onto in 2021. Canon Nifty 50 f1.8 and Sigma 18 to 35 f1.8s.
Nice.
The 18 to 35 there from Glenn Bowler Photography, that is potentially going to lead him into the world of astrophotography, I suspect.
That 18 to 35 is that's a crop sensor lens, I think, but it's a fantastic lens. It's one of their art lenses, I think. If I think of the right one. It's the 1835 f1.8, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crop sensor lens. Absolutely fantastic lens, yeah. So
Deadly.
The last one I suppose that jumps out with me there, Corey Davenport Photography, who was in the All Ireland. He got a film developing kit, so he can develop film at home. That's a pretty cool thing.
So cool.
Corey, if you are listening, if you want to send us in a few pictures of the one you got and any of the photos you've got, that's definitely something we'd want to feature on the Earshot in future. So 100%. Yeah, best of luck with that and venturing into the world of film. That's pretty cool.
100%. Yeah, that's actually so cool. Film is something that I really want to delve into, just because it's such unknown territory.
Yeah, I used to do it. I was very briefly in college after I left secondary school, but I couldn't finish out the photography course. But we used to shoot black and white film. I had a Nikon F4. SLR, and we'd go out with the ISO 400 rolls black and white film and shoot away, and you'd bring it back then into the college, into the dark room, and go into like literally you can't see your hand in front of your face, and you have to take the roll out of the camera, peel it back, use the tool to pop the ends, wind it onto the spool, put it into the developing box, seal it up, fill it with chemicals, and then like the first time I was doing it, I dropped the end of my roll of film. So like the bit that you're meant to feed into the spool. And I was there like going through the film frantically trying to find the end of it. And like the teacher was like, "Are you okay in there? I'm going to come in." I was like, "Don't open the door. You'll ruin the pictures." I was in there for about 25 minutes like, what is going on? Oh, it was horrendous. Yeah. And your man Joe was his name, the teacher. He was like, "I'm coming in. I gotta come in now." I was like, "No, don't, Joe. You're gonna destroy my pictures."
Don't do it.
No, don't do it, Joe. I'm naked.
Yeah. I'm nearly there.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Developing the photos. He was almost there.
Yes, Jesus.
The picture had almost arrived.
We're 15 minutes in, like, do you know what?
Christ almighty.
That's longer than usual, yeah.
The two yous always have to bring it
Welcome
to that
back,
level.
Ronan.
Even when yous are like giggling there, and I'm kind of like, what was funny? Oh, like it just clicks, and it's like,
you knew what you were saying.
I
hadn't a clue.
You knew
Holier than thou, Ronan. Come on.
I am holier than thou, and I'm holier than thou too, Sean. Yes, so sorry. Well, the listeners got loads of lovely presents. We're looking forward to seeing what they do with the new lenses. A couple of people got new tripods. The new photography books as well will hopefully bring people inspiration. And then Corey Davenport with that film developing kit. So that's pretty cool one.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting now to watch TJ Allen as well, who's always reacting negatively to our stories because it's TJ. Like, so we'll see what the F4 road trip does for TJ in
Lovely
terms
TJ.
of his attitude towards other people. Nothing to
do you
do
know
with
what
his
though?
photography.
Like, I think people like TJ are good to keep you grounded as well. Do you know what I mean? I have a few people like that on my stories. If I ever put a poll up, like they'll just Ronan included, generally speaking, always vote for like the negative option. You know what I mean, or the non-option. It's good. It keeps you grounded. I like it.
I absolutely
needed.
do not do that.
No, you don't. You used to sometimes, but you don't anymore.
Just for the
Good
record,
feedback.
TJ is a lovely person.
Yeah, we
And,
love TJ.
Great
Yeah.
skin.
Okay, the next thing we wanted to discuss before we get to the penultimate section of the show, which will be looking forward to 2021. We kind of want to look back on 2020. Like the podcast started born out of lockdown in March, and we've developed a lot. We've come a long way. And even as photographers, like Kevin hasn't been able to photograph concerts, so he's had to adapt, go out and get the drone, go out and try landscape photography. Sean has even shot a wedding this year.
Wow.
Go on, Shawnee.
Yeah, among other things. So
Actually, do you know, when you say that, Ronan, it is mad that like since this podcast has started, I haven't shot a gig. When you think of it that way, like,
Yeah.
okay, obviously because it was well before that, like. That's
it completely ruined our marketing because our niche was going to be like three lads from three different genres, and the three of us have just been shooting landscapes all year pretty much. So it's just ruined the whole niche.
2021,
But,
lads. It's going to be
That would
banging.
be different though. Like, I can't wait. Like, Ronan, you are going to be absolutely up the walls, like, when this thing is over.
I cannot wait. I honestly cannot wait.
Yeah. And
But sure, look, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, we are.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes, that's for next segment.
2020.
Sorry.
Yes, 2020.
2020.
2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026.
This was kind of
Back to
my
2020.
suggestion. I was kind of like, do you know what? Why not look back at our favorite, a favorite image that we took, each one of us took in 2020, and it is a funny year because. Was it a week ago? I put up like just a few stories on my Instagram, thanking people for whatever interacting during 2020 and for their support. And I put up a couple of my favorite images I took in 2020. And as I was posting my story, as I was kind of going through my feeds, like, geez, like these are some of my favorite images I've ever taken. And it's so ironic that I've gotten these images in in this year, like, and that's what I started thinking. I was like, God, I've been so fortunate and so lucky that, like, when we have been able to travel briefly in 2020, I got full value for that, like, from my trip to Donegal and my trips to Kerry and stuff. I was like, geez, I'm so lucky. But the favorite image I've captured in 2020 is actually right on my doorstep, and it was during the full lockdown. I think it took it in April, and it's the photograph of the fog and the oak trees. I'm not sure if people remember it now, but it's just two oak trees kind of intertwined coming up through this fog, and there's like flecks of orange leaves on them. Mark O'Brien kindly has a print of this in his house. He bought a print off me. Yeah. But that's my favorite image I took in 2020. And it was hard to pick a favorite one, but that was my favorite one simply because it was just on my doorstep. And it's really satisfying when you find an image, like a portfolio image like that on your doorstep, you know? So yeah, and it's a real intimate woodland shot. And it's probably my favorite because I know that will never be created ever again.
Yeah, I think the reason I like that as well, Sean, is obviously because I don't think you would have taken that shot if it wasn't for a lockdown.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't think you ever would have kind of delved into your locality as much if it wasn't for a lockdown.
No.
And, you know, so you wouldn't have that shot. And I think that it kind of almost represents the photograph as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that's lovely. And that for me, that's what makes that even more special. You know what I mean?
'Cause like you learn to appreciate what's on your doorstep, and like, yeah, that's kind of the way when I saw that, and it kind of, like, this can be interpreted in so many different ways. Like, but one person, I agree with, they're like, it seems like the two trees are just struggling to get out of the fog and out of into like the light. Yeah. Like, I was like, wow, if there's
that's
ever
a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
If there's ever a metaphor for 2020, like, there it is. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's my favorite image of 2020. Ronan, we'll go on to you next. Have you got a favourite photo that you took in 2020?
I do. And I only posted it recently after completely and utterly overlooking it in my archives because I recently had a hard drive corrupt. So after salvaging everything, I had kind of went back and looked through everything in depth to see what survived and what didn't. And from the Tourism Ireland trip I did, I had a drone shot of Glendalough that I shot like a massive panorama. Lord. So it was loads of shots kind of vertically and horizontally taken to merge together. And yeah, when I finally merged it because it took forever because there were so many shots and brackets and all that. And it's just absolutely delicious.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's been featured on like 20 different hubs. It's been on hundreds of people's stories. I'm even being sent messages daily where people have either stolen my shot or just gone out and completely copied it, which is very flattering. Like, you know, it's
happy days. Yeah, that's what you want.
There's not much you can do about it.
But imitation is grace, form of flattery. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. So yeah, it's just it absolutely blew up towards the end of the year, and what was a quiet year all around for my photography, really. To see I was sitting on a little gem of a shot that was taken this year. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, once again, but that shot for me, I mean, we've all seen Glendalough photographed to bits in every nook and cranny of Glendalough, or at least so we thought. You know what I mean? But then when you see that, like, it's completely unique and something that I'd never seen before. And that's, you know, for me, that's what makes it a standout image of 2020.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gabe.
Yeah.
Sensational.
Yeah, that's something I kind of strive for now, where like I kind of exclusively shoot Wicklow, but I don't have to exclusively shoot. I don't have to just shoot the carbon copy images all the time, you know. I'm always trying to look for something a bit different.
When I saw that, like, that looks like it doesn't even look like a drone shot. That looks like something like the Garda helicopter people would post from like miles up in the air. You know what I mean?
Stunning.
And I suppose that's because of the technique you used for the panos. That's how you kind of achieved that beauty as well.
Yeah,
you're the pano king.
You are the pano king.
Something called the Benzier effect, I think, is what it's called, or Benzier.
I've heard of that before.
It's used in like what's the word? Motor advertisements of like high-end sports cars and stuff like that, you set your aperture really, really low and take a panorama starting with your subject in focus in the middle and then move all around it. Kind of like adapted that to a drone shot.
Yeah,
and just
class.
took a bazillion shots around my composition. And that's how you kind of get all the mad perspective of looking down on something while looking up the valley at the same time.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I think,
That's
Ron, you
class.
touched on something there as well when you said that you are not kind of going for the standard images now that you'd see. You're trying to create something different. And I think like 2020 has done that for me as well, and I think for a lot of photographers it's caused slow down, and because we couldn't have access to all the checklist locations, I'm going to call them, as a landscape photographer, that you had to turn into your creativity and develop your own kind of initiative, you know. And I've stopped going for the checklist shots, I'm going to call them that, like, you know, the tick the box images, like, you know, and you start to develop your own style, and you start to see compositions in unique places that you've never seen them before. So that's definitely a positive of this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
agree.
100%. Another thing I learned this year is to stop taking a shot for the sake of taking a shot.
Yeah.
Like if you do get out and about after being locked down for so long this year, like I just really appreciate the opportunity to just even get out for a walk now. So like if the camera doesn't come out, it used to annoy me, and now not so much. Like it's like, at least I got out.
Agreed.
That's it.
Queeveen,
Yes, sir.
what is your favourite image
I
of
suppose I
2020?
probably should answer the question that we're answering, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, like, it's mad, you know, like,
Get in there, Kev.
what is this, the tripod? No, so for me,
Episode
it's mad.
34,
Obviously,
Kevin.
I think
Episode
at
34.
the start of the year, I never would have even imagined that this would have been, you know, the shot that I'd chosen, because had you have asked me at the start of the year, I would have probably said like Rage Against the Machine at Electric Picnic, or Harry Styles, or, you know, something deadly like that. But no, and you know what? Look, it's good. It's all good, because I got a drone this year, and my favourite shot of mine of the year is the tennis court one. I think you were probably expecting that one as well.
Yeah.
The reason is because obviously even before I had a drone, I had like not that exact shot, but I had that concept in mind, and that's, you know, I was like, I want to get is there a tennis court or a basketball court, but ideally a tennis court, because of I think there's a lot more kind of symmetry around that. And I stumbled upon this particular tennis club by chance, and I just pulled in, and just, you know, took a couple of them, and I think the lights, because it was in the evening time, so the lights on the court really helped, but I think the shadows from the people then that were being cast by the lights kind of added a lot to it as well. It kind of made it look like they were really stretched, and like I really like that aspect of it as well. But yeah, for me, like that's my favorite shot of the year. And once again, kind of like Ronan said, like that was shared. Like the amount of people that I almost got embarrassed at one point, because it was just, it just kept getting shared, and I was like, oh my god, I was like,
well deserved, man. That was absolutely phenomenal. And even on the topic of your transition into drone photography, Kevin, you took me by surprise. It takes a lot to surprise me now, like, you know, it takes a lot to make me go wow. But like, because when
Says
you're
the lad who didn't know orange and blue were complementary colours.
like, come on now,
Go on.
okay. We brushed that, okay. That's back in the past. We're moving on. When you're a landscape photographer, like full time, like you kind of, the transition to drone photography is a bit easier because you're still kind of shooting landscapes, you still have those ideas, but you were kind of mainly into your concerts. Like, so when you picked up that drone, man, the drone shots you pulled off this year were just so nice. Some of the ones you pulled off in Wicklow as well. The tennis court was just so pleasing. So pleasing.
Yeah, I mean, like Mark O'Brien included it in his like top 5 images of the year as well, which, like, for me, I was like, that's a huge honor. That's, you know, for someone like Mark, who is one of the best in the country. I was like, that's I like the amount, like, even like every once in a while it still gets shared by someone random like that, just shares it, and it's just like class. Like, I love that, you know what I mean? Because it is like, oh look, I really enjoyed it, and I knew as soon as I pulled in, and as soon as the drone was in the sky, I was like, this is it.
Yeah,
this is what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like, this is exactly what I wanted. And
Class.
yeah, it was tough with that. And like, it was once again, it was pure chance. I was picking up my cat from the vets it wasn't Peter now. It was Ed, picking up Ed from the vets in Nutgrove. So I had to be, in that specific spot, and just happened to drive past it. We were early, so I had like 15 minutes to spare, and it was just, it was kind of a chance. But I did have the shot in mind, you know what I mean? So, delighted I pulled it off.
Ah, yeah, brilliant. It's stunning. Yeah, well, a great choice. I can't disagree with you,
Kev. A credit to you. I saw it during the week, and I saw it again today on someone else's story.
It's mad.
Might have been, was it Mark O'Brien or Ian Moriarty during the week?
Both.
Someone else
Ian
shared
had it in his like top 10 shots of the year. Mark had it in top 5 last year.
And BT shared it then today as well.
Yeah.
Is there people doing their top shots of the year? That's a nice idea.
They're kind of like, I contemplated it, but I always, you know me, I'm always afraid, like, it is, but also I don't want to like not include people. So then I just have to keep going until, you know what I mean?
You 500 stories.
You know what I mean? So it's like, or, when you look back on your like on this day or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Thing, like I remember it was a couple of days ago, and it was just like, here's people you should follow. And it was like, and then the next one was like, and these ones. And Fred with this way. And I was like, right, I'm not doing it again. Just because I know, like it would cripple me with guilt if I forgot someone. I'd be like, no.
It's a nice gesture, though, in fairness. Like I've signed out. I've been signed out of the Gram now for last week, so I haven't seen anyone doing that. But Jesus, it is a nice gesture, and it must be very hard to pick.
The thoughts of that, Sean.
I know, it's okay. I'm having it cleansed. Brilliant. Kevin, well deserved, and that shot is probably one of the best drawn shots I saw this year in general anyway. Brilliant. That's our 3 absolutely. Don't know what, those 3 photos there now, I think they mean an awful lot to us as images anyway, like, do you know what I mean? So, and it's because they were all taken in such a bad year, so yeah, that's the
thing. Like, I mean, I suppose one thing about
their portfolio images, like, it's not just the forever image 2020. Like that's in my top 10. Like that photograph, like in a portfolio. Do you know what I mean? And you're probably the same, Ronan. You're probably the same, Kev. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think the thing is, like with 2020 as well, like it's kind of this could be a really great springboard now to better things. You know what I mean? So that's what you have to look at it as, because I think there was a lot of learning done in 2020.
A lot of
you know what I mean? Like, a lot of learning, because there was a lot of time to learn. So like
a lot of growth.
There was a lot of growth. You know what I mean? As kind of photographers for all around. And obviously, this podcast has helped me. I'm sure it's helped you lads, and a lot of the listeners. So like it's definitely not been all doom and gloom. It's a lot of positives from the year, and it's a lot of ammunition to go and smash 2021.
Brilliant. So that, Ronan, I think that leads us nicely in, does it, to our next topic?
Segue.
Yeah, it does. Segue. You're
all about progression and moving forward and learning. So yeah,
and not looking back in anger.
Don't look back at Kevin.
He's got
makes me angry. 2021. We're leaving 2020 behind. 2020. The tripod was born. That's about it. Going into 2021, the tripod is going to become a toddler in its age, let's say. So we started out as in our infancy as a podcast. We didn't really have very good audio quality for the first probably only 2 episodes, I'd say. And then we very quickly learned and progressed. And now we're going to our next step, which is bringing out the tripod website next year.
Yes.
And the website is already under construction. It's going to be home to blogs, tutorials, guest content, community blogs that you can submit to us as well.
Yeah.
We're going to have our photographer of the month. We're going to have just so many things, IGTV videos. I suppose we'll break a couple of them down. It's probably the best way to do it.
Possibly as well.
Change,
sorry, Ronan, I think possibly a gear for sale section, like a buy and sell section, which might be handy for the community.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
You've probably
Yeah.
discussed this before, but I'm obviously only hearing this now for the first time, or at least paying attention to it now for the first
You
time.
actually replied when
Yeah.
Sean said that, and you were like, "That is brilliant. That's a great show."
Well, look, there. At least you know I was being honest, because that is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Break one or two of those
Okay.
things down and you're running first.
We'll start with the first thing, like where does the website come from? If you enjoy the podcast, you can now support the podcast via Patreon, which we have set up. The link to that will be in our bio below, and it's also in the bio of our Facebook, Instagram, etc. The Patreon is like a way to financially support the podcast, but 100% of the money goes back to the community. So far we're using that to build the website, and from the website that'll give us the platform to give even more, and also allow you, like with the buy and sell we're going to have, community content, stuff like that. It'll give kind of everyone in the tripod community a platform to work from. The other big thing that comes with that is like there's just so much potential. Like in the blog section we're also going to have Togs and Tales, which will be
Oh yeah.
like interviews with Irish photographers, where they talk about like little interesting things. Like I've actually done one for this. It's run by Connor Finnegan. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm allowed to announce this, but
Yeah, I'm not
it's in
sure
here
either,
now.
but look, here we are.
YOLO exclusive, baby.
Yeah. We'll bring
But,
Connor on as well to discuss it in further detail. But yeah.
Yeah, but it like the way it's very good the way it's set up, because you're getting an insight into, like, I know personally for me, when I was going through the interview process, like it brought me to a moment and a story that nobody would have ever heard before that should be really
Oh,
interesting.
really?
So
Yeah.
like for
Yeah.
every photographer featured on Togs and Tales, it's going to be like a really intimate account of who they are and their work. Like, should be really, really nice.
And some top class
Um,
photographers as well. Can I just jump in on the Patreon there, Ronan, for a second? For those
Absolutely, everybody can if they want.
like the Patreon is.
Are you
like,
going to do the blind boy bit? Go on, say a pint or a cup of coffee once a month. Say
No,
it.
I really wanted
Say
to.
it.
I really wanted to, but I'm not. He's just too good. I can't do that to him. He's just too good. I have too much respect for the
Yes.
man. But
I love him so much.
if you feel like supporting the podcast, so the Patreon,
Pint or a
like,
cup of coffee once a month.
it's the podcast will always be free. Like, John, there'll never be a point in this where you have to pay to listen to this podcast. The Patreon is just if you feel like I'd like to support the lads a small bit every month, then absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much.
So you're saying it's a model based on soundness,
It's a
Sean?
model based on kindness. If you can't afford that, then that's absolutely fine as well. Do you know what I mean? But just, I don't want people thinking that like it's like we're out to get money. Like, you know, we're not. Like, everything will always be free in this podcast, and that's the whole point of it. But if you do feel like supporting it, then we would greatly appreciate it if you can. Yurt.
Yes.
There's one of the tiers on
We'll
the
allow Jeff to
Patreon
read
is
the
actually called
There'll be an ad digitally inserted in here.
Oh God.
one of the tiers is called Peter the Cat. Like,
Oh,
it's literally, it's, as Sean says, it's a couple of euro a month. It's optional. It doesn't cost you a thing to listen to it. All of the content on the website as well is going to be free. The blogs are going to be free. We're also going to be doing IGTV videos, which could potentially progress into YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
We're conscious as well, like everything the community puts into this podcast goes back to the community. So we also don't want to like bite off too much at once and promise the world, the moon and the stars,
Yeah.
and then end up not delivering. So we're going to start out very slow with podcasts and blogs.
Yeah.
Segue that into videos. I know, Sean, you have video ideas and that.
Yeah. I obviously post-processing tutorials seem to be popular enough. I'm purely basing that off. I done one or two during the lockdown, and they got great views on my Instagram, and people really enjoyed them, and like people couldn't believe it. I done a tutorial there on just where you split an image, like, and you just create a virtual copy and you basically create 2 different exposures and blend them as if you took 2 different exposures out in the field, but you were using them one single raw file. So people couldn't believe that. So we'll do some post-processing tutorials. Another segment I really want to do is it's basically the Your Shot feature, but through video. So we'd be doing an IGTV video where it's me, Kevin, Ronan, having a look at your images on screen, breaking them down, what's good, what could possibly be improved. Kind of like, I think it would be a bit more than what we have currently in the Your Shot, because the Your Shot is great, but it's through an audio means, and it's kind of hard to break down an image when you're kind of listening to it as opposed to looking at it. So yeah, I think that could be a really interesting idea for
one thing I'd like to do
video.
For an IGTV is edit your shots. I think that's always interesting.
Yeah, there you go. Like the ideas are endless. But as Ronan said, if you launch into too much too quick, you end up doing a lot of things badly. Yes, and I'd rather do 2 things very well than 10 things badly. So
yeah, exactly.
Got it in one.
Yeah, there you go, man. I tell you, my tongue is we're just in that flow,
waxing lyrical.
We're in that flow right
waxing
now.
lyrical.
There was a lot of alliteration there as well, Sean. It was lovely.
What?
I said there was a lot of alliteration there, and it was lovely.
Alliteration. Go on, Kev. Yeah.
Alliteration as a habit to set you up for the next point, which is about photographer of the month.
Yes. Oh, nice.
Let's see what I did there. That's good, wasn't it?
I tell you.
Speaking of Peter the cat.
We're in the flow now.
In the rhythm. Yeah, photographer of the month. It's really difficult to enter this. To enter this, you basically just interact and help the community. In our Facebook group, which is down below in the description or the show notes, we've tons of people who ask questions, post their images, ask for feedback, constructive criticism, just ask general questions. They ask about gear to buy. And by simply joining the community and replying to those people, posting your own images, posting critique, constructive criticism when you're asked, sharing the podcast on your Instagram stories, sending us in your shots to be featured, stuff like that. Just basically interacting with the podcast, helping us on the socials. That is how you enter Photographer of the Month. The winner of Photographer of the Month will then get an exclusive blog post featuring 5 or 6 of their images and a write-up about them on our website that will go on the home page of the website. So everyone going there will see your face bang smack on the home page of the website. So it costs.
They'll also get a puppy.
It costs nothing, and you get
a puppy.
Yeah, okay.
I can't guarantee a puppy. A puppy may not be actually included.
Yeah, but in summary, it costs absolutely nothing. All it means is you have to interact with the podcast, and you'll basically get a feature once a month. And
you know what? Look, there's bucket loads of you doing it already. There really is, and we can't thank you enough for that, because that community page on Facebook is phenomenal. I know we say it every once in a while, but I think it should be said probably once a week, because it's great. Like, honestly, they're fantastic.
Yeah,
everyone in there, so helpful. Great crack. Never a bad word said between anyone, and I don't think it's just because they're all a sound bunch of people, more so than people trying to be nice. You know what I mean? I think it's just that's the people that are there.
100%.
And everyone's just deadly on there. So well done to you all.
I'm really excited about the Togs and Tails. Like, now that Ronan has let the cat out of the bag, I have to give Connor a big up. Like, I mean, this was such a good idea from him. I remember him contacting me months ago to ask to write a blog. And by the way, I know a couple of people who've written blogs, and some of the best photographers in the country have got a blog written for that. And it's what really gets me excited about this little section is that it's not a post-processing tutorial. It's not an article on photography. It's not technical. It's real life stories. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
real intimate. Like,
yeah, it's just real stories of photographers. And they're discussing what happened on a particular day, and some of them are funny, I'm sure. Some of them are sad.
I guess I'm just waiting for my invitation.
Yeah,
I'm only joking. Yeah, he has reached out and asked me to do it.
I was actually just going to say, I don't really care, Kev, to be honest. Like,
he has. It's just me and filling out information. I'm like, I'll do that again. Yeah, no bother. Yeah, grand.
So that'll be a brilliant section. But yeah, Ronan, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, I'm just really excited 2021 because a lot of people have had a very rough year in 2020. We've managed to build what is a very strong base through the tripod and a very strong community, and we really want to build it up and to give back. So if you don't, or if you're not in a position to support us through the Patreon, that's absolutely no problem. All of the content will be free. If you do want to help us build this community, then obviously you can head over to the Patreon and get involved. What I will say, don't become a patron now if you're listening in December, because you're charged on the 1st of each month. So that's how open and honest we are. You will be charged today and then on the 1st of January. So we don't want to be hitting you in the pocket. If you want to look at it next year, look at it next year.
Yeah.
Every little helps. Every little is very much appreciated, and it helps us to create a glowing, vibrant, beautiful community.
Fantastic. Boolabus. Well done. Really, really
That's
nice.
lovely, Ronan.
You do a Boolabus, will you?
Yeah. It's been a while since we've done a tripod hug.
Oh yeah, we do it now.
Okay.
Let's do a tripod
3,
hug.
2, 1.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That was nice.
Amaze balls. Lads, there's one thing I wanted to finish out on.
Yeah.
Go on then.
What's your best or your favourite moment of the podcast from 2020? From our inception. What's your favourite bit to happen this year?
Well.
There's been so many.
There has been
so
plenty.
many. For different reasons. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to kind of say what's your best one, because like a best can be interpreted in different ways. Like, you know, it can be funny or it can be inspiring, or, to be honest, lads, my mind was blown by Mark Maguire. I'm just going to say it. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed that chat. An awful lot.
It was the most different. Like, it was the episode that kind of was very, very different than every other episode.
Yeah.
And it was sensational. That's a great show, John.
That would be my first, and a close second would be, I think I really enjoyed Conor McDonald.
Yeah, I was going to say Conor McDonald as well.
Wasn't it? Like, for me, look, I think Lucy, just because it was episode 1.
Yeah,
I think like we really kind of punched above our weight almost. Episode 1.
We did. Think about it, like, straight for the juggler. Okay, we didn't even know what we were doing. We were like, Lucy knew it was the first episode. She's like, oh yeah, no bother. Like, it's cool. Like.
So like that for me, that was obviously just because of the feel that Lucy's in or whatever. But Peter Hurley always stands out for me as well, just because the man is so cool. Like, he's just so cool, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's
yours, Ron?
I really enjoyed 2 moments. One was Stephen Hanna, because I think I see a lot of myself in Stephen. And it's something to aspire to. Like, he's just so sound, and like he'll always drop you a message of support or whatever. And then he's obviously very talented photographer as well. And from the business side of things, he's a very talented businessman as well, which is something that I would admire. But Ben Horn, having watched his videos for so many years and kind of thinking you know a person, to then sitting down and chatting with them with that kind of what's it they say, the tinted glasses or something like that, but like he was just so sound, so down to earth. That
was early funny days as well, wasn't it? Like, that we got Ben on.
I couldn't believe we got Ben on. But like, I remember texting my mum. I texted my mum, oh my God, we had Ben Horn on today. And he was like, oh, that's lovely. Who's Ben Horn? But I was just so excited. But he was genuinely, to me, one of your heroes like that. That it's had to be my moment of 2020. And for him to be amazing. Thomas Eaton as well. Like, it's, Thomas Eaton. When I think about it, like, it's just like, wow.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, I can safely say I've had 3 of my heroes on the podcast since it started. Like legit, like Zach, Lucy and Connor. Like, that's mad. You know what I mean? Like it is, and like, yeah, that's classic. The podcast has definitely opened doors because, like, you know, I'd be in contact with three of those now, kind of. Well, obviously some of them beforehand or whatever, but yeah, it's mad. Like it's weird that happened this year when you think about that.
It's important to remember also that, like, we've all mentioned guests there, but like we've had some class moments with the three of us on the podcast as well, and like this podcast has kind of it causes you to actually study some stuff and learn it before we go on. But also you could be in the foulest form coming on to record this podcast, and afterwards you feel unbelievable as well because you've just spent the last hour chatting to your mates and laughing, and do you know what I mean? So like it's important to remember that, like, the best moments aren't always the external ones. It's like what you've created here within that, like, you know.
And I do think we can't really have like a wrap up of the year without mentioning the episode that you weren't even here. Like that was just like honest to God.
Ronan's technical ability along with his scheming mind.
Never laughed as much. I swear to God, like I listen back to that episode more than any other.
I actually, what episode number is it? I gotta listen to that tonight.
It's number 10.
Number 10.
Oh yeah, that's right. The first Q&A. Oh dear God, like that was like, it took so long to try to record because we couldn't stop laughing. Then like it was just anytime I listened to like in stitches. So yeah, I think that probably one of the highlights actually for me.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
lovely.
My shenanigans are one of my highlights as well because I think I'm hilarious. Same. So
you are hilarious.
RTE are still coming after me for that prime time music as well.
Oh, brilliant. That's it. 2020
That's
over.
it for 2020, lads.
Mm-hmm.
That is it for 2020.
Yeah.
It's been deadly and mental.
It has.
Is it though? Are we going to get to midnight on the 31st and it's going to go 23:59, 23:60, 23:61, and 2020 is just never going to end? Like, have you seen that meme?
Yeah, I have.
They're doing the midnight countdown and it's like tick, tick, tick. Oh no.
Just
now it is going to end. But we're ending on a very, very, very positive. I mean, we're all coming out of 2020 better people. I'd encourage everyone to look back on your year with an open mind and don't focus on any of the bad you may have experienced. I know the three of us have grown, not only in our skills, but also as people. We've grown through the podcast. A lot of our listeners as well have sent us in amazing messages of support. We get back to everyone as best we can, but like without you guys, there wouldn't be a podcast, there wouldn't be a community. So we appreciate all of the messages.
I remember episode 1 where you said it was the People's Podcast.
And the People's Podcast.
Yeah, we go.
We should finish 2020 on that, will we?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been the Tripod. This has been 2020. The People's Podcast signing out. See you next year and see you next Tuesday.
Bye-bye. There you have it, folks. Another episode of The Tripod.
If you did enjoy the podcast, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes.
And you can always subscribe to the podcast. And if you want to listen to more episodes, head over to www.tripod.ie, where you can find us on our socials, which include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Okay, Ronan, that's enough.
Be on Snapchat and TikTok. And okay, thanks.